Ninjas and 8-bit go together like chocolate and peanut butter, and fans of katanas and throwing stars had more than a few options to choose from when it came to pixelated ninja games. One that stood above the pack was Shadow of the Ninja by Natsume, a two-player action game originally released on the Nintendo Entertainment System all the way back in 1990. Now comes Shadow of the Ninja Reborn, a brand new reimagining of the classic game that'll come with new levels, improved graphics, upgraded gameplay, and new music from Iku Mizutani, the classic composer who worked on many of Natsume's best games. While Shadow of the Ninja Reborn won't be out until summer of this year, pre-orders are open right now to get your hands on both the physical release as well as a $70 collector's edition pack that comes with the soundtrack and more. Look, as a huge fan of the 8-bit original, I can't wait to get my hands on the newly updated version. I think we can all agree that this is genuinely great news, but I still need to ask the question, is the original Shadow of the Ninja actually worth playing? To answer that question, I decided to flip through the pages of Electronic Gaming Monthly, Video Games and Computer Entertainment, GamePro, and more classic magazines to see what the critics said back when this game first came out. So go and get your ninja cliches ready, because this is Shadow of the Ninja Review Crew. If you were a fan of ninjas in the 8-bit era, then you sure had a lot of great action games to choose between. From Ninja Gaiden, to Shinobi, to Wrath of the Black Manta, this was an era filled to the brim with men in dark pajamas sneaking around the city streets. While the Ninja Gaiden trilogy is certainly hard to top, I'd say that Shadow of the Ninja comes in a close second. It's an exciting action game that mimics a lot of what Ryu Hayabusa was doing back in the day. In fact, this game was so similar to Tecmo's trilogy that when it came time to create a Game Boy version of Ninja Gaiden, they opted to port and rename Shadow of the Ninja. Now, that's pretty cool, but this Nintendo Entertainment System version is definitely the one to play, thanks to the color graphics and the two-player ninja action. Let's see what the critics had to say back in 1990. As you probably expected, Electronic Gaming Monthly's resident fake ninja, Sushi X, absolutely loved Shadow of the Ninja. Not just another ninja game, but the best one since Gaiden. Two can play, but best as a lone ninja. I really like the character animation and new moves that combine to make this non-stop entertainment. Steve also loved the game, going as far as to praise the up-and-coming developer. Shadow of the Ninja is a tremendous first effort from Natsume. The graphics and play action are incredible for this configuration and have all the action you'd expect from a first-rate title. Expect big things from Natsume. EGM ended up giving Shadow an average score of 8 out of 10. Now that's quite a bit higher than Nintendo Power, who could only muster up a 3.3 out of 5 when they reviewed it. GamePro, on the other hand, matched EGM scores with a 4 out of 5 raving about the graphics and gameplay. Does the name Natsume ring a bell? This is the first NES cart from the company, whose programming prowess appeared in a bunch of other carts, such as Contra and Abadox. Natsume's video game making experience is certainly in evidence here. This is an exciting adventure cart with excellent graphics and challenging gameplay. The graphics are sharp, with pixel-perfect stills between levels. The sound effects are great, even the background tunes are catchy. The highest score that I could find came from Video Games and Computer Entertainment, who gave the game a stellar 9 out of 10. Their biggest criticism was directed at the cliched nature of the martial arts storyline. As an entertainment medium, video games are just as legitimate as books and movies, and there's no reason why the subject matter should be limited to spaceships, ninjas, and baseball. But Natsume shouldn't be criticized for bringing out another ninja game, because Shadow of the Ninja is one of the best games of any genre. Now, that's a statement that I can get behind. If you haven't already, give Shadow of the Ninja a stab. While it may have the Ninja Gaiden name, and may even star Ryu Hayabusa, make no mistake about it, this Game Boy spin-off started its life as a portable version of Shadow of the Ninja. You can certainly see that in its name, Ninja Gaiden Shadow, as well as the level designs and even the gameplay, which takes a lot of its cues from the 1990 Natsume game. And you know what? There's a good reason for that, because this Ninja Gaiden spin-off was actually developed by the same team that brought you Shadow of the Ninja, making it a really fun hybrid no matter which ninja franchise you preferred. But hey, what did the critics say all those years ago? Did they mind that it wasn't a proper Ninja Gaiden sequel? Of all the magazines that reviewed Ninja Gaiden Shadow, only Video Games and Computer Entertainment brought up the connection to Shadow of the Ninja. I actually like the way that they handled it in their review. Ryu Hayabusa's first appearance on the Game Boy is called Ninja Gaiden Shadow because it was created by Natsume as a portable version of its NES hit Shadow of the Ninja. A little tweaking, a new introductory sequence, and a title change were all it took to convert Natsume's efforts into Tecmo's latest martial arts masterpiece. Aside from the missing intermissions, you won't hear any complaints from me. In some ways, Shadow of the Ninja could be considered a better game than the original Ninja Gaiden. They concluded that detailed graphics, realistic animation, a throbbing musical score, nasty boss characters, and satisfying gameplay have been the hallmark of the Ninja Gaiden series to date. And Ninja Gaiden Shadow has no problem meeting any of those criteria. Video Games and Computer Entertainment gave the game an 8 out of 10. Now, for what it's worth, not every magazine was as won over by the palette swapping. For example, you saw Nintendo Power give the game a 3.7 out of 5. GamePro went even lower, giving the game a surprising score of 3 out of 5, concluding that Video Game Ninja Masters will note that although Ninja Gaiden Shadow closely resembles the NES games, it doesn't live up to the standard in length or challenge. However, the crisp, authentic graphics and that old black ninja magic make this a good cart for ninja wannabes and a nice afternoon's diversion for hardcore Ryu fans. Naysayers aside, most of the critics love Ninja Gaiden Shadow. You saw Ace ditch their usual and ridiculous 1,000 point scale to give the Game Boy game a 4 out of 5. Computer and video game offshoot Go liked it even more, giving it a high score of 90%. In fact, Paul Rand was nearly out of breath when he reviewed it for the magazine's 8th issue. Phew! Ninja Gaiden Shadow is a furious frenzy from start to finish. You'll go glassy-eyed over the graphics, slaver over the sound, and pop a cork over the playability. A brilliant beat-em-up worthy of anyone's time and money. While I prefer the NES original, this Game Boy spin-off is still worth checking out. Let's hope that it comes to the Nintendo Switch Online service, or maybe Tecmo decides to release a comprehensive Ninja Gaiden collection. Either way, Ninja Gaiden Shadow is an 8-bit action game that is well worth playing. Hey, thanks for watching me break down these classic reviews. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we do this kind of thing every time there's a retro game that gets re-released somewhere. We have a whole playlist full of Nintendo Switch Online and PlayStation Plus review crew episodes, so go ahead and give those a binge. Now, here's the question I have for you. What's your favorite 8-bit ninja game? Are you partial to Ninja Gaiden, or more of a Shadow of the Ninja person? Or maybe your choice is Shinobi? Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back later this week with more reviews, as well as a new Nintendo Switch Online review crew episode. Maybe. We'll see what happens. While you wait for that, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.